Now my turn, and this is a challenging review for me to do because in so many ways I wanted to like this device. This is the Chromebook Pixel from Google, and it got a lot of attention when Google announced it last month. Originally Wi-Fi only at $12.99. They are now offering a $14.99 version that includes, I think that's the price, that includes, let me make sure. Yep. $14.49 that includes LTE on this. Of course, you'll have to pay extra if you want to use much LTE. It's Verizon LTE wireless, and you only get 100 megabytes a month for free. You do get, if you pay $50, 5 gigabytes a month. And that was the one I wanted to look at because I love the idea of having always-on connectivity. And because the Chromebook Pixel runs Chrome OS, it really is designed to be always online. There's only 64 gigabytes of storage in this LTE version, 32 gigabytes in the Wi-Fi only version. It's not designed to store a lot of data. It does have offline Gmail and offline editing of files and so forth, but really it's intended primarily to use Google Drive on the cloud as your storage. It's a window into your Google account, your Google Apps, your Google Drive account. Also, I should point out that it works pretty well in Wi-Fi. So if you are in a Wi-Fi only situation and you don't want to pay the extra amount for the LTE, you can use it that way. And because it has some offline features, yeah, you could use it to perhaps go through your email on an airplane. But really, it's designed to be always online. Google made a big point about given the price, how well made this is. And of course, it's a unibody aluminum construction, very nice metal, very little torque in it, very solid. And particularly they were proud of this display, which is very high resolution. Touch too, which is kind of neat. So it's a little odd. You might notice if you're looking at it on video, it's a 3:2 aspect ratio, which is pretty unusual these days. Google says it's better that way for web pages. I think it has to do more with the limited hardware capabilities of the machine. I'll talk about it in a little bit. It is 2560 by 1700. That's 239 pixels per inch. A few more pixels per inch than a MacBook Retina, but it is a slightly smaller screen than the MacBook Retina. This one has an i5 in it. Well, actually, they all do. You don't have any choice. Google really doesn't give you a lot of different SKUs. You get an i5 processor in here. You get 4 gigs of RAM. The battery life is woefully short. 4 hours in my experience. Google claims 5 hours with active use. It does have Wi-Fi A, B, G, and N, Bluetooth 3. Oddly enough, only USB 3. The connectors on here are pretty straightforward. There's a mini display port, which we had problems with in our setup. We weren't able to get it to do an extended screen. I understand that's a bug with Chrome OS that will probably be fixed. It has a couple of USB 2.0 ports on here. The most important spec you might want to note is that it is Google HD 4000 graphics. And in my opinion, that's kind of a low-end graphic card for a display that's pushing as many pixels as it is. And as a result, I find that some pages, like this page from The Verge, feel a little sluggish, a little hesitancy on this. And I showed this to Jeff Jarvis, who also has a Pixel. He says, mine doesn't, and he made a video to show that it didn't. Well, I think it does. I don't think this is a bad defect with this particular model. I think it's what you'd expect with HD 4000 graphics, and particularly demanding graphics-heavy displays. Even Google's own Play Store doesn't scroll quite as smoothly and fluidly as I'd like, either with the touch screen or the arrow keys or the trackpad. There is a question about the operating system as well. Now, it is Chrome OS, and you have to understand Chrome OS is essentially just a Chrome. You have applications on here, but they're all Chrome extensions. So what looks like a user interface really is just another way to click on Chrome extensions. There's quite a few of these. Here's the New York Times, Plants vs. Zombies. There's video editors, there's audio editors, but all of them are going to be working with data online. So if you have large video files, you'll have to upload them first. Large images, you'll have to upload them first, and it's going to be a little bit sluggish editing that kind of stuff. I also should point out that one of the things that makes this perhaps a deal is that with the $12.99 or the $14.49 price, you get a terabyte of Google Drive storage for the first 3 years. If you paid for that individually right now on Google, that'd be about $1,800. So I guess if you wanted to buy a terabyte of storage on Google Drive, maybe you should buy this instead, and you'll save yourself a little bit of money. Chrome OS is a very limited OS. There's certain advantages to it. It's certainly more secure. I find that the people who really like Chrome OS tend to be IT administrators, school administrators, people who want to give computers to employees or students, but want them to be locked down so that they're secure and so that people can't be, playing video games on here. Maybe you're one of those people. Maybe you feel like you need to have limitations on your computer. If that's the case, Chrome OS may be great for you. And there are certainly plenty of people who say, oh, I love Chrome OS. It's all I want a computer to be. My question is, should you pay what is a fairly steep price for a computer and not get a full computer? There are Chrome OS devices for $200, $250 that are pretty good. They're not this beautiful hardware. And what Google says is, well, we wanted to show you that Chrome OS can run on beautiful systems too. That people who use Chrome OS can also have very nicely made systems. I'd agree with them. This is a very nicely made system. You've done a nice job, Google. I just feel like that's an awful lot of money to pay. You can get a very credible laptop computer running a full operating system for about the same price. So I'm not sure exactly why somebody should sign up to get less for more. It doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me. If all you want is Chrome, I guess you could use Chrome. People say, well, it's, a full operating system is too complicated for me. All right, that's fine if you want that. What I do think Google should do, and maybe they will, is make a laptop that's not $1,449, that's not $250, maybe a $600 Chromebook that is a little bit nicer to use than the netbook quality, cheap Chromebooks, but not quite as expensive as the Chromebook Pixel. On the Pro side, gorgeous screen. You can't deny it. Very high resolution. It has a decent keyboard, not great. And when you turn, excellent sound, by the way. The speakers are ported, I think, on the back. I can never find out where they came from. Sometimes the speakers are loud enough that you can actually rattle the keyboard. It sounds very good. Keyboard is a little bit mushy, maybe not something you'd want to type on all the time. I have some trouble with that. Very nice trackpad. Basically the hardware is the Pro. It's an excellent piece of hardware. The con, I find that the graphics card in here, the motherboard graphics from Intel, the HD 4000, probably is not enough to push all the pixels that this screen is offering. So sometimes it can be a little sluggish to use the screen, not as responsive as I'd perhaps like it, not as responsive as, in fact, touch screens on other computers. The biggest con, though, is the price. You're not getting a whole lot for $1,449. You're not getting a full operating system. Maybe that's something you'd want. I just can't recommend this for most people. There will be some people for whom the Pixel is the perfect computer. Jeff Jarvis loves it because all he wants is a Chromebook capabilities. But he's also had to hack it quite a bit, put Linux on it and so forth to make it do some of the things he wants. And it seems to me if what you really want is a Linux box, you can get one for a lot less money. Low on storage, weak graphics card, beautiful display, decent keyboard, excellent trackpad, very good sound, an operating system that is intentionally quite limited. It's hard to recommend the Google Chromebook Pixel. I went back and forth on whether it's a buy or not buy or a try. I'm going to have to say don't buy, and I'll tell you why. I had one on order until I played with this for a few days, and then I had to cancel the order. I thought, this is way too much money to pay for way too little computer. I do not buy. Sorry,